Yes. Is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Now see, in the previous lecture, we have seen about the merge sort. Fine. Now merge sort is nothing but 1 minute. Huh? Yes. Now see, up to the previous lecture, we have seen about the merge sort. Fine. Now, what do you mean by the merge sort? Now, can anyone tell me what do you mean by the merge sort? Yes. Yes. What do you mean by the merge sort?
Arranging the numbers in ascending or descending order.
Yes, it is nothing but arranging the elements in the ascending order or the descending order. It means that you are sorting the elements. Now, you are sorting the elements, but for that one, you should have to use the technique. Now, in case of the merge sort, it belongs to the category that is the divide and conquer. It belongs to the category that is the divide and conquer. Fine. Now, what do you mean by the divide and conquer? In this case, see over here, whatever the elements are presented in your array, so you are dividing that array into the halves. Now how you are going to calculate the halves? So that halves is going to be calculated by calculating the midpoint values. Fine. So for the midpoint calculation, you are going to take the first index, that is the 0th index, and the last index, that is the n minus 1, and taking the division of division by 2. Fine. So from that one, you will be getting the value of the mid, and by getting the value of mid, you are dividing the array into the two arrays. What you are going to do, you are dividing the arrays into the two arrays. Fine. Similarly, for the rest of this one, that is after the division of the one array into the two array, you are dividing that array again into the two halves. Fine. Again, you are continuing the same process. Again, you are continuing the same process up to which you will be getting single element as a single array. Single element as a single array. Then and then only you are going to stop the process of the dividing. Now, after dividing, what you are going to do, your next step is nothing but you are conquering. It means that you are combine that particular division processes. You are going to combine that elements and going to form this one. Again, you are going to combine and form the resultant array. Fine. So that is nothing but the conquering. And whenever you are going to combine the two arrays, so at that time you should have to compare the elements of both the arrays, because we are going to arrange the elements in some of the orders, whether it is in the ascending order or whether it is in the descending order. Whether it is in the ascending order or whether it is in the descending order. Fine. So that's why. And see, if you want to arrange in the ascending or the descending, you should have to change the conditions for the same. Whether it is less than or greater than, that depends on which sorting manner you want to provide. Fine. So this is nothing but the simple concept of the merge sort. Now, suppose if I'm going to just write down the function for this one, that is recursive function. Now see, in this case, you are going to apply the merge sort. Fine. Now for the merge sorting, what you are going to do, you are going to pass the complete array, as well as what you are going to do, you are going to pass the first element, that is the first index, and the dimension of that one, that is the last index. Fine. And you are going to check condition, because see, up to what condition you are going to stop division, whenever you will be getting single element as a single array. You will be getting single element as a single array. And for the single element as a single array, it means that, see, the index will be 0 to 0 itself. It means that you are going to stop the process when the initial value and the end value will be different. It means that when you are going to check this condition, that is the initial index, this is nothing but the initial index, this is nothing but the last index. Fine. So you are going to check whether the p is less than r, because see, suppose if there are two elements, in this case suppose this is 2 and this is 3, and over here 1, you are going to find out the midpoint, that is the 0 plus 1 divided by 2. What you will be getting? You will be getting 0. It means that you are dividing the array. Now for that case, what is the value of p? What is the value of p? P is nothing but 0. And what is the value of r? It is nothing but the 1. So see, when the value of p is less than r, you are going to again divide for the rest of the elements as well. Suppose if I'm going to take the, let's take the example. Yeah. Suppose this is nothing but my array. Fine. I'm just taking the elements, whatever the last example we have been taken, that is 9, 6, 5, 9, suppose 6, this is 5, then 0, 8, and 2. Fine. Now, nextly, see, this is nothing but the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and suppose this is nothing but the 5. Fine. So firstly, we should have to know that what is this? This is nothing but this first index. So it is going to be represented by R. And over here, this is nothing but the representation of R. Sorry, P and R. P is indicating the lower bound or the start index. R is indicating the last bound or the last index. Fine. Now you should have to check that up to what condition you are going to divide the procedure. Fine. Now let's try to divide that one. I am going to continue the division, and division is going to be continued क्योंकि देखो यहाँ पे P, where you should have to check whether P is less than R, 0 is less than 5, condition is true. So that's why you're going to continue for the division. And for the division, you will be going to calculate the value of mid. Now mid is equals to कितना आएगा? Can anyone tell me what will be the values of mid? How are you going to get it? Yes. For this particular example, 0 plus
5 by 2.
5 by 2. It means that you will be getting 2. Fine. So the division of your array will be like this. That is the 9, 6, 5. And over here, 3, 4, 5. Fine. So this is nothing but your 0th index, 1 index, and 2 index. Fine. Now nextly, for this one, again, if you are going to consider this array as the independent one, so what will be the value of mid? Yes. What will be the calculation? Yes, what will be the calculation?
0 plus 2 by 2.
Yes, 0 plus 2 by 2. What you will be getting? 1. It means that you are again going to check, that is the 0 is less than 2. Yes. So do the division and divide the array. 9, 6, and over here 5. Now see, in this case, this is nothing but the index 2, and this is nothing but the 0 and 1. You are going to check this condition, that is the P. What is this? First index is nothing but the P, and the last index is nothing but the R. But for this particular element, see over here, P and R are same. So in this case, is P is less than R, that is 2 is less than 2, your condition is getting false. It means that you are stop dividing up to this one. You are stop dividing the division process onwards. Fine. Up to, and for this one, that is the 0 is less than R, yes, condition is getting true. So you are dividing the elements, that is the 9 and over here 6. Fine. So that's why we are each of the timing, whenever you are going to divide the procedure, so at that time you should have to continue this procedure up to which, up to the condition whether the first index, that is the start index, whether it is less than the end index. Fine. Now nextly, whenever you'll be getting that indexes, so at that time, if this condition is getting true, suppose if this condition is getting true, so if this condition is getting true, then what procedure you are going to apply? You are going to divide that procedure. Suppose if I'm going to take, suppose मैं यहाँ पे Q लेती हूँ, Q is equals to, you are dividing the elements, that is the P plus R divided by 2 for finding out the midpoint value, if this condition is true. Huh? So first procedure we have been conducted over here, and later on, after getting that midpoint value, what is your next job? Your next job is nothing, you are dividing the array into the 2 halves. Fine. So that's why we are just going to divide the array. What will be the partition then? Then A, see over here, this is nothing but the array, and this is nothing but the start index, and what is this? This is nothing but the midpoint value. Fine. So you should have to pass it over here, that is P, and over Q. And if I'm going to proceed for these indexes, so what these indexes? 3, 4, and 5. 0, 8, and 2. Fine. So can anyone tell me the second array के indexes क्या रहेंगे? What will be the lower bound and what will be the upper bound of the last index? That is the second index. Yes. Yes. What is the start index and the last index of the second array? This is nothing but your second array. Yes. Can anyone?
3 and 5.
Kiti? P and? Yes. अरे सांगा चुकलो तरी चालेल.
Ma'am, 3 and 5.
Yes, it's a 3 and 5. Fine. But see, as we are knowing that for that particular midpoint, you'll be getting the value of mid is equals to 2. And over here, it is provided as the 3. And midpoint we have been calculated over here in the variable q. So what is this 3? 3 is nothing but the 2 plus 1. And what is this 2? 2 is nothing but the midpoint which we have been defined for the q variable. So that's why you should have to provide over here q plus 1. And the last index as it is, that is nothing but the r. Getting it, the division of these two arrays? हे कळालेलं आहे? Everyone?
Ma'am,
बोल ना.
ma'am, can you repeat it?
Yes. 1 minute. Let me just clear this so that. Yes. See, these are nothing but the elements. I'm just providing the indexes for the same. 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fine. So as I already told you that you are going to continue the division process up to which? Up to the start index. I am appointing that index as the p variable and the last index are appointing that as the r variable. Fine. So up to the first index, that is the lower bound, if it is less than equals to greater upper bound, then you are going to divide the continuation process of the division. Fine. Now, as we are knowing that you are going to check this first condition, that is the p. P is nothing but the lower bound. What is this p? It's a 0. So is 0 is less than 5, your condition is true. Since your condition is true, you are going to divide that one. Fine. And division is going to be done by the calculation. Division is going to be done by the calculations. Fine. How you are going to do the division? That is by calculating the midpoint value. Now, why the midpoint value? How you are going to calculate? That is this first index. What is the first index over here? 0 plus. What is the last index? Last index is nothing but the 5. What you will be getting? That is the midpoint. 0 plus 5 divided by 2. It means that you will be getting the 2. Fine. So, yes, 2 is nothing but your midpoint value. So, after getting that midpoint value, here we have been provided over here q. That is, you will be getting the value of q. Fine. Now, you are dividing the array into the two halves. That is, this will be 9, 6, 5, and over here 0, 8, and 2. Fine. So for this one, what is the indexes? 0, 1, 2, over here 3, 4, and 5. Fine. Now, what is your next job? Your next job is nothing but you are solving that particular array, because see, once you will be getting the midpoint array, so you are going to divide this particular one array into the two halves. So what is the dimension of that particular first half of the array? See, this is nothing but the array you are going to solve independently. Again, what is the start index? Start index will remain as it is. Start index will remain as it is. So we have been passed over here p. But the last index for this particular array is nothing but the 2. But how you will be getting that 2? 2 is nothing but the midpoint value. Fine. So that's why the midpoint value we have been defined as the variable q. That's why we have been put it over here q. Hey, samajla?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. And for the second one again, for the second one, that is the second half of the array, what is the start index? Start index is nothing but the 3. And what is the last index? Last index is nothing but the 5. So 5 is nothing but the as it is, whatever the last index has been represented by the r variable. So we are keeping r variable as it is. But for this second array, what is your first index? First index is nothing but 2 plus 1. What is this 2? 2 is nothing but your q value. So if you are adding 1 into the q, you will be getting that first index of the second array. Getting? So that's why we have been passed over here. That is the q plus 1. Fine. And again, you are going to call this same procedure again and again, because see, what is this? After getting that particular division of this one array into the two halves, So you are going to consider that array. You are going to consider this particular array as the independent one. And again, you are going to follow the same procedure that you are going to check whether the first index is less than the last index. And if that condition is getting true, again, you are going to do this division process by finding out the midpoint. It means that you are again continuing the same process if this condition is getting true. Fine. So that's why what we are going to do, we are recursively call this function for this one as well, for the second half of the array as well. So what I am going to do over here, that is the merge sort. Over here again, merge sort. Fine. So you are recursively calling this function again and again. Fine. So this is nothing but the simple function for merge sort. Hey, merge sort से function कढ़ाला है? Getting
Yes,
it?
ma'am.
Fine.
Yes.
Now after dividing that one, after dividing that, what is your next job? Because see, what is this? From this particular statements, you will going to get to know that up to which point you are going to continue the division process of the array. Fine. Now after dividing that one, what is your next job? Your next job is nothing but you are conquering that particular arrays. Conquering, it means that you should have to combine the array. You should have to combine the array. आपको क्या करना है next procedure? You are going to combine the array. Fine. And for that one, we'll write the functions for the same, because in that particular function, you are going to compare the elements of both the arrays. Fine. And then whatever the element which is lesser from both the array, that is going to be kept into the resultant one. And likewise, you are going to continue the same procedure for this one. It means that for that one, you should have to write one function that is called as the merge function. We will see that merge function, but firstly, we're going to see that how you are going to find out the time complexity for the merge sort. Fine. So for that one, you should have to call one function that is the merge. Merging for what? Because see, merging किस का करना है आपको? That is the first this array, that is the complete array, and the start index, fine, and the midpoint and the last index. So that is nothing but the merging. What is this? This is nothing but the merging of all the elements. Merging of all the elements. Fine. So this is nothing but the logic for the merge sort. This is nothing but the logic for the merge sort. Fine. So हे समजलं आहे इथपर्यंत. हा functions आपण बघूया. हा function आपण बघूया. That is the merge sort. How you are going to combine? Because see, in the yesterday's lecture we have been seen that how you are going to combine the arrays by doing the comparisons of each of the elements present in the two arrays. Fine. But the logic will be same. Fine, we will see how you are going to apply the logic for the same, but still म्हणजे सगळ्यांना कळालं आहे that how the merge sort logic is going to be performed. Everyone got the idea? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now nextly, see over here how you are going to proceed that particular merge functioning. How you are going to proceed for merge functioning. See, हम merge function का हम देखते हैं. That is how you are going to do that one. Yes. Now, in case of the merge function, as we are knowing that we have been divided the elements into the arrays, number of the arrays, and later on you should have to combine the arrays by getting the two resultant array. Now, for that one, you should have to consider the two arrays as the two independent elements. Two arrays as the two independent elements. Fine. Now, suppose that this array is going to be divided into the two. Now your next job is nothing but you are going to combine that one. Now how you are going to combine that one? You are going to combine by considering this as the independent array. Now suppose if I am going to naming that particular array as the L and this particular array as the R. Fine. Now suppose if I am going to consider this element, that is the 1, 5 and 7 and 8 over here, and again over here 2, 4, 6 and 9. Fine. Means मैंने combine करते करते हमें ये resultant मिला है. Now later on, what is your next job? Next job is nothing but you should have to combine this array as well to get the resultant one. So how you are going to merging this particular two independent arrays? You are going to compare the first element of the L array to the first element of the R array. Fine. Now in this case here 1 is less than 2. So that's why out of this 1 and 2, 1 is going to be placed over here in the resultant array. Fine. And the control will comes to the next element. Fine. Now next again 5 is going to be compared with the 2. 5 is going to be compared with the 2. Now as we are knowing that 2 is less than 5, so 2 is comes over here. Similarly, the control will comes to the next element. You are going to compare with the 5 and 4. So 4 is compared with the 5. Since 4 is less, it is going to be placed in the resultant one and you are going to increment the counter. What will be the counter? The counter will be 6. Again, 5 is going to be compared with the 6. So you are going to put 5 over here and you are incrementing the counter. Likewise, you will be going to get all the elements. Fine. So this is nothing but your resultant array. So what is this? This is nothing but the logic for this merging sort, for this merge function. Getting this one? Yes, getting this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, once you will be knowing that one, let's try to see how you are going to find out the time complexity for the merge sort. Fine, because see, whenever you are going to see about the any of the sorting technique or any of the searching technique, so the important point is that what is the time complexity as well as how you are going to find out this time complexity. Fine. Now let's try to see how you are going to find out the time complexity. You will be performing the merge sort, and for the merge sort, you have been firstly checking the condition, this condition, whether the start index, whether it is less than the end index. And if that is getting true, so what you are going to do, you are going to divide that one. It means that this particular one is going to be executed only once. Fine. Now suppose if I'm considering the total time required to execute this complete merge sort algorithm as the T of n. Now, can anyone tell me what will be the time required to execute this particular function? Properly dekho and tell me the answer. If the total time required to execute the merge sort algorithm is T of n, so what is the time required to execute this particular function?
R.
R. How is it? Yes. Just think of the logic that in that particular function, what exactly you are doing. Any suggestions? Any suggestions? Fine. Let me tell you. See, as we are knowing that I am considering the total time required to, yes, let me, T of n by 3. N by 3, how is it? You are nearby to answer, but Sandesha, you are nearby to the answer, but it is not correct. Somewhat you are nearer to the answer. Yes, any suggestions again?
Ma'am, T of n by 2.
Yes, very good, Vedant. Very good. Can you tell me the explanation for the same? Vedant, it's a correct answer. Yeah?
Ma'am, because we are dividing it as midpoint.
Yes, exactly. Very nice explanation. Fine. See, exactly what the Vedant is telling you, that as we are knowing that we are dividing the array into the exactly two halves, because see, if I'm going to consider the total time required to execute this particular complete array is nothing but the T of n. And later on, what I am second procedure I'm going to do with this statement, I'm dividing this array into the two halves. Fine. So if I'm going to consider the time required to execute this complete array is nothing but the T of n. So obviously, what is the time required to execute this particular algorithm? It is nothing but the T of n by 2. And over here, T of n by 2 again. Fine. So what is the time required to execute this particular function? It's a T of n by 2. Can anyone tell me for the second function? What is the time required? Yes.
T of n by 4.
Yes, very good again. Same. Fine. Because you are going to need the same time for the second half of the array as well. Now, whenever you are going to merge that thing, so obviously n elements are there. So you will be requiring the n time, that is the n, you are going to compute or the conquer all the elements. Fine. So you'll be getting the independent time required to execute this particular complete merge sort algorithm. Fine. Means for each of the statement, you will be getting the time complexity. And from this one, you are going to generate the recurrence relation. What is your next job? Your next job is nothing but generate the recurrence relation. Fine. Now, how the recurrence relation I'm going to write it over here? That is the T of n is equals to, यहाँ पे कितना मिला है मुझे? 2. So write it down over here. Twice of T of n by 2. And how many elements you are going to merge? That is the n elements. So we are going to write it over here n. And plus ones, obviously it will be neglected because it is nothing but the constant term. Fine. So यहाँ तक के समझा? It means that from that particular recursive function, you'll be getting this recurrence relation. Understood up to this one? How you'll be getting that recurrence relation? Yes?
मॅम तो फॉर्म्युला एकदा पुन्हा सांगा ना, तुम्ही एंड मध्ये जे सांगितलं ते.
This one?
या येस मॅम.
Fine. See, okay, I'll. Yeah. Now see, we are going to, we'll be getting that particular each of the statements time complexity. Fine. Now, from that particular recursive algorithm, you are going to draw the recurrence relation. And how you are going to draw the recurrence relation? Total time required to execute this complete algorithm, that is nothing but the T of n, is equals to, what is this time complexity for this one? See over here, T of n by 2 plus T of n by 2 plus n. Fine. So this T of n by 2 plus T of n by 2, what you will be getting? You will be getting twice T n by 2. Fine. And plus, what is this parameter? That is the n. And we are neglecting one because it is nothing but the, if this value is very larger, so obviously one will get neglected. Fine. So from this recursive relation, you will be getting that recurrence relation. Understood this one? Now?
Yes ma'am.
Fine. Now, as we are knowing that we'll be getting the recurrence relation. So from the recurrence relation, your next job is nothing but calculate the time complexity. Calculate the time complexity. Fine. Now see, this is nothing but your recurrence relation. I'm just writing over here. That is T of n is equals to twice T n by 2 plus n. Yeah. Fine. Now, once you will be getting that particular recurrence relation, what is your next job? Your next job is nothing but find out the time complexity. Now, in this case, see over here, you are going to use any of the method, whether you are going to use the back substitution or whether you are going to use the forward substitution, that depends on you. Fine. Now, in this case, it is in the parameter of the n by 2. So, what is your job is that you are replacing n by n by 2. What you are going to do, you are replacing n by n by 2 in this particular equation 1. Fine. See, if I'm replacing n by n by 2, what equation I'll be getting? I'll be getting that is the T of n by 2 is equals to twice T of, कितना मिलेगा मुझे यहाँ पे?
n by 4.
It's a n by 4 plus n by 2. Fine. So see over here the term is present T of n by 2. So what I will going to do is that I'll be getting the T of n by 2 value over here. So I'm replacing the T of n by 2 in the main equation by this term. Fine. So I'm just replacing that one. So what I'll be getting, that is T of n is equals to twice of T of n by 2 के जगह पे मुझे ये term put up करना है. Fine. So twice T over here n by 4 plus n by 2. Fine. If you are going to solve, what you will be getting? If you are going to solve this one, what you will be getting? That is 2 raised to the power 2 T of n upon 2 raised to the power 2. I can write it as fine plus n. Getting it? Getting it or not?
Yes.
Fine. Now nextly again you are going to do the same procedure. You should have to replace n by 4. Fine. So if you are replacing n by 4 over here in the equation 1, what you will be getting? You will be getting that is T of n by 4 is equals to twice T. यहाँ पे कितना आएगा? That is 4 into 2. 4 into 2. What you will be getting? That is the 16 plus n by 4. Fine. So once you will be getting that is the T of n by 4. So see over here, this is nothing but the T of n by 4. So replace that T of n by 4 over here by this term. So what you will get, the main term, that is the T of n is equals to 2 square. You are replacing that with this term. So what you will be getting, that is twice T n into. I can write this as the 2 raised to the power, कितना लिखना पड़ेगा मुझे? sorry, over here 8 na. Yes, sorry, over here 8. 1 minute. Yes, over here it should be 8. Fine. So what I can write it over here? That is 2 raised to the power 3.
3.
Yeah. Fine. Plus n by 4. Fine. So what you will be getting? That is 2 raised to the power 3. T of n by, एक तो 8 लिखो या तो 2 raised to the power 3 लिखो, one and the same thing. 2 raised to the power 2 into n by 4. 4 will get cancelled. What is the remaining one? N. And over here plus twice n. So भी गड़बड़ हुआ, 1 minute. You are replacing that and plus n. So यहाँ पे कितना आएगा आपका twice n, यहाँ पे कितना आएगा आपका thrice n. Yes. Yes. Getting this one? ये इक्वेशन समझा? समझा कि नहीं? Or shall we take it once? Shall we take it once again? Or understood?
मॅम ते
Yeah.
3n कसं आलं परत एकदा सांगा.
हाँ, yes. अरे this is the same question. See over here. मैं एक ना ये step repeat करती हूँ. Just let me repeat this statement so that it will get clear morely. Fine. Yeah. We are replacing n by 2. So what equation you will be getting? T of n by 2 twice t n by 2 plus n by 2. Fine. Now you are replacing that t of n by 2 over here. So from that one, what you will be getting? T of n is equals to twice in bracket, instead of this t of n by 2, you are taking this complete term as it is. So I am writing over here twice t n by 4 plus n by 2 and this term as it is plus n. समझा ये? I have just replaced that t of n by 2 by this complete term. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now is equals to what you will be getting? 2 into 2. Either you can write 4 or you can write 2 raised to the power 2. T of n by 4 plus twice n divided by 2. 2 will get cancelled. What you will be getting? N. Fine. And over here plus n. So what you will get? You will get twice n. Now get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Similarly, for the same again, it means that for if you are going to replace n by 4 in this particular equation, what you will be getting? T of n by 4 is equals to twice t of n by कितना आएगा? 4 2 जा 8 plus n by 4 over here. Fine. You will be getting t of n by 4, or we can write it as t of n by 2 raised to the power 2. Fine. Over here t of n by 4 यहाँ पे है already. So we are replacing the t of n by 4 in this equation. Fine. So just replace that one. So what you will be getting, that is t of n is equals to कितना है? 2 raised to the power 2. 2 raised to the power 2. 2 raised to the power 2. And instead of t of n by 4, we are replacing this complete term. So what you are going to do? Twice t over here n by 8 plus n by 4 plus you are going to write it, that is the twice n. Understood this one? Yes, getting it or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now nextly, just combine that things. 2 raised to the power 2 into 2 raised to the power 1. What you will be getting? 2 raised to the power 3. T of n by 8, or we can write it as 2n by 2 raised to the power 3 plus 2 raised to the power 2 is nothing but the 4 into n by 4. 4 will get cancelled. What you will be getting? That is the n. N plus twice n. What you will be getting? That is the thrice n. Getting this point of now?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now you are going to continue this process up to the kth term. Fine. It means that you are going to continue the process up to kth terms, that is 2 raised to the power k. अगर मैं लिखती हूँ, So what should I have to write it over here in the denominator term? In the
2
k.
raised to the power k.
Yes, very good. It's a 2 raised to the power k. And over here,
Kn.
it's a kn. Very good. Fine. So you will be getting this generalized equation. Now, as we are knowing that, as our recurrence relation is saying that the t of 1, 2 नंतर करू लेक्चर 2 ठेवून जा एंट्री नंतर करतो हळू fine. Sorry for the interruption. Fine. Yes. So you will be getting the recurrence relation from this one. Now, as we are knowing that, what is our recursion relation is saying that you should have to make this t of 1, because as we are knowing that recurrence relation is applicable for n is greater than 1, and it will be providing the t of n is equals to 1 when the value of n is equals to 1. Fine. So मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे इस टर्म को I should have to make this completed term as the 1. Fine. So if I'm making that completed term as the 1, so what I will get? I will get t of 1, and I know that what is the value of t of 1? T of 1 is nothing but the 1, because that is nothing but the condition for the termination of that particular loop, or the termination of the condition. Getting it? Hey, समझ Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. See, what is the condition of termination? That is the when you will be getting t of 1. Fine. 1, it means that you should have to make this completed term as the 1. Kadale hai?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now, nextly, as we are knowing that you should have to make this complete term as the 1, it means that n upon 2 raised to the power k is equals to 1. So what you will be getting if you are going to solve this one, that is n is equals to 2 raised to the power k, and from this one, what you will be getting the value of k? Yes?
Log n to the base 2.
Yes, very good. Log n base to the 2. Fine. So only you are replacing this particular value of this in this particular recurrence relation. So replace that one, 2 raised to the power k. What is the 2 raised to the power k? It's nothing but the n. So write it down over here n, and into t of, as we are knowing that n upon 2 raised to the power k, we have been considered it as the 1. So write it down over here 1, and k. What is the value of k? It is nothing but the log of n base 2 into n. So this n I am just writing previously and writing this log of n base 2. Fine. Now, as we are knowing that what is the value of t of 1? T of 1 is nothing but the 1. So what you will be getting, that is n plus n log of n base 2. Now, out of this two terms of the complexities, which term is the maximum? Which term is the maximum? I already told you that. Which term is maximum? Whether it is n or n log n.
It is n.
How is it n, beta? See, see over here. If I'm considering 2 plus 2 into 1, sorry, 2 into 1 or 2 into 3. So which term is maximum? Because already n is present in both these cases, but additionally we are providing the log n over here. Getting me or not?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why this is nothing but the maximum term. Even though मैंने आपको वो series बताई थी, याद है? N then less than n square, then n cube and onwards. याद है कुछ? Yes, बेटा. अरे बघा, See, n is both both the terms n is present. Additionally, you will be having log n with this. So obviously, you will be having this maximum term. Fine. So this maximum term, you are going to consider the time complexity of the merge sort. What is this? This is nothing but the time complexity of the merge sort. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Fine. So see, because see in the question or external mail will ask you that if you have been performed the merge sort, so how you have been calculated the time complexity, which method you have been calculated? Because see, if you are going to see, if you are going to tell the direct time complexity, that will also fine. But if we will ask you that how you are going to find it this time complexity, so you should have to able to explain all these things to the external or in the exam as well. They will ask you for the same. Fine. So this is nothing but the time complexity for the merge sort and log n. यहाँ तक के समझा? यहाँ तक किसी को doubt? Fine. Now this is nothing but the divide and conquer method. What is this? This is nothing but the divide and conquer method. Now next let's next we are going to see about the greedy method. Next we are going to see about the greedy methods. Now, what do you mean by the greedy methods? It means that on the run time, on particular time, I think mic suru hai. Fine. So on the run time, if you will be having the best path, suppose if I'm having the best path, suppose if I'm traveling from Rawat to Pune, and if I'm having the number of the sub destinations, suppose the distance of Rawat to this particular point is nothing but the 2. Suppose the Rawat to another point is 3. Suppose the Rawat to some another point is 1, and Rawat to some another point is nothing but the 4. Fine. So obviously, what do you mean by the greedy method? Greedy method means on the instant of time, on the right particular exact timing, what is the minimum cost you will be getting? You are going to select that path, or you are going to find out that result. Now, in this particular 4 cases, you will be noticing that one is nothing but the minimum distance. So what the greedy method is going to select you, greedy method, it means that on first time, you will be getting this as the minimum distances or the minimum cost. So you are going to follow this path. What you are going to do, you are going to follow firstly this path. Fine. Maybe the chances that greedy method will always not will provide you the efficient result. Maybe the chances that it will not provide you the efficient results. Why it is not provide the efficient result? Because see, maybe the chances for this particular one, you will be having this one as the minimum cost. But if you want to reach Rawat to Pune, and Pune, and if I'm selecting this path, suppose this is nothing but the 5. So see, on run time, it is knowing that yes, 1 is nothing but the minimum one. But whenever I'm going to proceeding to reach to my destination, and if I'm going to calculate this particular cost, so what will be the total cost? The total cost is nothing but the 1 plus 5 is nothing but the 6. But as we are knowing that I'm having the second option, that is the 3 plus 1. That is the 3 plus 1, that is the 4. It means that whatever your algorithm has given you, that is the 6 is nothing but the minimum one, but that is not the efficient solution. Because as we are knowing that what is the efficient solution to reach from Rawat to Pune, it is nothing but this path, that is the 3 plus 1. Fine. So it's necessarily, it is not necessarily be given by the greedy method that every time you will be getting the efficient solution. Fine. So under the greedy method, you will be having the number of the algorithms. The first algorithm, you will be having the Prim's algorithm. Next you will be having the Kruskal algorithm. Next you will the Kruskal algorithm. And the next one is nothing but the Dijkstra's algorithm. Fine. So these are nothing but the 3 algorithms that falls under the category of the greedy approaches. And how you are going to define that one, we will see in the next lecture. Fine. So up to this one, is anyone is having doubt? You can ask me. Yes, any doubts from your side? We will see the greedy methods, all types, with the example in the next lecture. Huh? But today's lecture, have you understood all the concepts? Yes or no? If it is yes, we are going to stop. Yes. Tell me. Okay, fine. 1 minute. Huh?